Well, listen. This is. Are we on the air?
Yes, we are.
Good. For a little while. The great Ben Bailey is here. I'm going to do the
great. Thanks,
great comic, and was the host of a. I guess you could definitely call it what's now a cult classic show. It was really popular. I used to see it all the time on the road at night, Cash Cab, and. Ben and I didn't know each other well, but it was always friendly when I saw him. And I was with my uncle and my cousin, and three gindaloons looking for a restaurant in the Lower East Side. And then, my uncle kept saying, like, "Boy, it changed around here." Like, we get it, all right. That's what New York does. It changes.
It's so different.
Right. Last time he was here, Natalie Wood was standing right there. Last time I was here. Well, Christopher Walken drowned her. But he was here on the set of Splendor in the Grass. Was the last time.
It's changed so much.
I have an Uncle Perry who...
There's a bridge to Brooklyn.
They built a few of them. There's a few enclosures. My Uncle Perry, this guy's father, I was just telling Danny, it just makes me laugh. He walks around all day. He's 84 years old. He's got that voice-activated thing. You yell a name into the phone and dials it. And he's got socks and sandals right out of Central Casting with a V-neck like guinea tea. And he walks around all day screaming into the phone names like Ed Del Vecchio.
And I know a guy named Ed Del Vecchio.
Everybody
for real.
Everybody knows. And he gets he goes Tony Addabotto. And then he gets me and goes, Tony fucking Addabotto. This thing don't work. And he gets like a florist. He gets like a Motto's florist. Who's this? Put your father on. This is a Motto's florist. What?
You're going to have to type fucking into the names of all his contacts.
Would you turn some sort of fig?
Call the fucking florist.
That's the best line. The best line ever in The Sopranos. Uncle Junior is trying to talk to the woman on information, and she doesn't recognize. She doesn't understand them. And he goes, Belleville, New Jersey. And she goes, what? He goes, cocksucker Belleville. That was improvised. Yeah, that's all he does. Ed Frantantoni. All one name. Ed you motherfucker. You
shut up, I'll give you a crack.
I'll give you such a pinch.
The landscaping guys?
Yeah.
Remember Paulie Walnuts?
That's
he goes and muscles the landscaper. The guy's like, oh.
Why?
He goes, shut up, I'll give you a crack.
That poor landscaper. Everybody, in one episode, everybody kicked his ass.
Yeah, that's
You see the chain of events.
Just trying to earn a fucking living.
The poor guy's son. You see the chain of events that happen that leads to him getting his arm broken because he's not raking leaves. Because he wants to. He's an asshole who wants to get paid for raking leaves 14 hours a day. Your Jersey, you'll appreciate this. My fans know about this. There's 14 of them following the show.
Everybody.
We ran the numbers. It's the least successful podcast in the history of broadcasting, and I blame that on Dan.
Am I allowed to swear? I just did.
Anything. It's poor pie. It's podcast. Anything you want.
I should have asked first. But...
We could murder the maid in there. We could move it. You can move a dead body. I find that this is so under the radar. This show. I've said things. I've tried to get fired from show business, but then I tried to get kicked out of show business, and I realized I'm not technically in show business anymore. We were discussing at the table what's the similarities between the mafia and show business, because they had a special about that. And I said, Rich Voss can't get in either one of them. My Uncle Frankie used to send me to a construction site. He was a union guy, and he always had a guy he had some beef with, and he would tell me when I was 17, just walk over there. He goes, walk over that jerk. Go up to him and just say, like, Frankie Beato, just say my name, and then say, like, sheetrock. So I see what he says. What? I said, what? Just say my name, and then just say sheetrock? Say, like, say my name and then sheetrock shipment. Say something like that. I go, okay, well, I'm 17. The guy's 42. I go, all right. So I find a guy. So at the next barbecue, he comes over. I had this exact conversation, Ben, with my Uncle Frank. I'm going to say 42 times. He'll make me do that, and he comes over and goes, do you see that guy? What'd he say? Then what'd you say? Then what'd he do? Then what'd you do? Then what did he say when you did that? He's a jerk off. It never fails. It never fucking fails. Michael Frank's dead 10 years. I feel like digging him up and trying to make him say that. Like, hey, oh, I would avoid him for like until I can make a gabagool sandwich. Get some sustenance for the conversation.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, Jerko.
What did you say? What'd you say?
He didn't
Remember what
remember.
you say when you said that? What did he do when you said?
He never remembered my name. He go, hey, Wooly. He called me Wooly. Hey, Wooly, come here. I go, what? He goes, did you see that guy? What'd he say? And then what'd you say? And then what'd he do? And then what'd you do? And then what'd he say when you did that? He's a jerk. After a while, I just cut to the point. I said, "You see that guy? Yeah, he's a jerk off."
Yeah, I get it. We did every guy that ever walked by.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. I didn't go to. We're talking about education. What is your education, Ben?
I'm largely uneducated.
You're from the uneducated Bailey?
I've gone to the school of hard knocks.
Well, listen, Effley Bailey, George Bailey, a lot of famous.
George Bailey's my grandfather.
Well, and he was from It's a Wonderful Life, too?
Born in the same year as George Bailey in the movie.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And so now you're from Chatham, you said?
Yeah.
You're Jersey guy.
Yeah, I grew up in Chatham.
And that's a good town, Chatham.
Chatham, shit right at him.
Is that the slogan? Was that the white cheerleader? Chatham, shit right at him. The black chicks in high school, the cheerleading they did was so superior to the white chicks. And I would say, like, Jimmy the Greek was drunk, but he was right. They have an extra bone in their ankle. I don't care. And that's not racist. They have an extra bone in their ankle.
Did he say that?
Remember
Is
Jimmy,
that true?
Oh, Jimmy the Greek said that. That's how I got fired.
I thought that's not what I thought he said. I thought he was talking about the football players.
Oh, no, Howard Cosell.
Saying he was larger, they were larger and stronger as they were bred to be.
Right, that's Jimmy the Greek.
That was Jimmy the Greek,
right?
right?
That's part of the same insane monologue.
And then Howard said, look at that little monkey go. About
Alvin Garnett.
Yeah. Oh,
Alvin Garrett. Garrett.
I thought it was Joe Morris.
It was Alvin Garrett. On the Joe Morris actually, no one would give him shit because he actually does look. Well, we're going.
We'll go on.
Good one.
Leave it in.
Good one, which reminds me of the problem with this business. Well, I said the other day I went to the Black Lives Matter rally, and I'm not political. I just wanted to see if I got my wallet back. And
they must have gone. Where were you when you said that?
I was at a barbecue at Michael Che's. No, Michael. I actually, all the black comics defended me. This was the nicest thing ever these guys did. I don't know why. Because they knew it was a joke. We tell jokes for a living. Remember the guy, the fat guy in Staten Island who said, I can't breathe? And that was the slogan, I can't breathe, for a while. And remember that guy got choked out?
Yes,
you know, talking about the big fat guy. So I said, the slogans. I'm all for, the plight of the blacks and equality, but these slogans are affecting my sex life. I was having sex with a black chick the other day, and she just screamed out in the middle of it, "I can't breathe." And I said, "Okay, would you have to get political?" And she said, "No, you're on my rib. I can't breathe." I turned it into a fat joke. It got a big laugh. One person on Twitter was all mad at me, and it turned into a thing. But then all the black comics came out in droves.
And said, "This is funny. It's a joke."
And I still got fired from Twitter.
You've been fired from Twitter?
Yeah, I get suspended from Twitter.
Oh, there's no reason for me to be here then.
No, I got back on.
Kidding. If you're not on Twitter, I'm not into this.
I got back on. I'm currently in a feud with a kid from Iowa. Artie's bloated liver. It's giving me so much shit lately.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Came to your aid.
They did.
They get it that it was a joke.
No, they did. And Michael J. is a great guy. He's a powerful guy because of SNL. He's the type of kid who'll be running show business one day. Funny and just like efficient.
Yeah.
Everything I'm not.
He's a very nice guy.
And he's the greatest guy in the world.
You talk to me like, wow, this guy, he's nicer than I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, and Marina Franklin was very nice to me, and just a sweet girl.
Well, as comedians, we feel like we can joke about anything and everything.
Right. Well, sometimes I guess people go too far.
But people who are not comedians are not big fans of comedy or aren't always in tune with that. They don't.
Well, no.
There's people in your life that think that's funny, and there's people that are like, "That's over the line, Artie." You know who those people are, right?
I got in trouble. Right? No, I got in trouble for this joke. It was the best joke I'm not getting better than this. I said there was a guy in the news that he was a 102-year-old Jewish guy who survived Auschwitz, became an insanely
I'm
successful.
so afraid of what you're about to say right now.
Listen to me. An insanely successful plumber, which how odd is that? Moves to Union County. He's like the most requested plumber in Union County. And I said he's the only guy ever, only person ever, to make both Schindler's and Angie's List. And I'm not getting better than that. And
did people go crazy on you about
some
that?
people, the anti-defamation, before you know it, Deanna's in trouble. Spielberg's, you won't put me in Howard the Duck too. No,
I can't believe they're making that.
Fooled you again.
After all these years.
Boy, are you gullible.
It's you. I just believe everything you say. No matter what. Artie told me he bought a water park.
No, I said I'm the shittiest with money. I bought a water park in Flint, Michigan 2 years ago.
And I was like, oh my God, Artie.
He said,
are you serious?
Yeah, he said to me, dude.
That's been in the news about water, recently.
You gotta be getting killed on that. But a lot of the kids who don't understand the signs can still go. Just digging a hole deeper. Just dig it deeper. By the way, I got the last laugh with the Black Lives Matter thing because a guy's cousin knew a guy that had the wallet. Guy's cousin. I'm having a big trouble here. Everybody in this building is like a modern day pilgrim. Really white people who are in finance. They move here, and they're all in this building. They're very snooty, and they look down at me because they feel I'm new money. And they don't like showbiz types. Like remember in Gilligan's Island, Mr. and Mrs. Howell hated Ginger because she was showbiz. And that's the example I point out. It makes me look stupider.
Is that the Howells that live downstairs?
The Howells, yeah.
Thurston.
Jim Backus. I can't see. I can't see.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes. That's because you're blinking, Mr. Magoo. Okay, true story. They wanted me to come to the meeting because they felt these people, because they were blue collar, might be my fans. These little rich fucking kids have their $4,000 bikes to ride, and the kids from the projects, the Puerto Rican kids, came and stole the bikes. And that was becoming an issue. And these people were such assholes. I got up and I said, listen, if I see a Puerto Rican kid stealing one of your kids' bikes, I am helping that kid steal the bike. And if he doesn't steal the bike, I will get the bike later on and bring it to the kid's home and say, this is now your bike. Peppy. And I will say, here, fellas Nevada, Happy New Year. I don't like these little kids. They have attitudes. They're already ordering me around.
Oh, they're entitled.
7 years old.
Entitled little guys.
Yeah, they're very like, one kid had a One Direction shirt on. And I was just me and him like 8 years old. Me and him in the elevator. And I looked at him and I said, dude, that's a gay shirt. Okay, I said it's a gay shirt. And this is what he said to me: you're gay. And I didn't have a cover. He fucking got me.
Dude, that's a scene in a movie right there.
I know, but
you and an 8-year-old arguing in the elevator.
Ben, how witty is this kid? I said,
that's a gay shirt.
I didn't get the word T out, the letter T, the T in shirt. He said, you're gay. You fucker.
And then he hit every floor and ran out.
Good luck. It's a local now, fatty. You're on a local now, Tubby. And guess who? I'm talking to my parents later. Guess who touched my ass inappropriately? Mr. Sandusky in 1204.
Is that your real name?
Yeah, it is.
Sandusky.
That's another bit I got to clean up. See, I'm feeling too raw. I do a thing. In the Catholic Church for 100 years, here was their policy. They said to the priest, when you get done fucking every kid in Pittsburgh, let us know. We'll move you to Boston. When you get done fucking every kid in Boston, let us know. We'll move you to Harrisburg. When you get done fucking every kid in Harrisburg, let us know. We'll make you the defensive coordinator for Penn State. Nothing. It's like an oil painting. But listen, I like it better now as a jaded comic when people don't laugh, because I like making these young kids mad more than I like making them laugh. I want to offend them.
I think you're reminding them of shit they don't want to be reminded of.
Well, they're not prepared
when you
for
say that.
Well, yeah, you're right. But they're not the safe
It's fucking
spaces.
funny, and it's true.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like you're making
Well, it's
something
based
up.
on honesty, right? Exactly. Exactly. That's a good point. They don't. Rich kids have these shut-in, these safe spaces. They go to school with other rich white kids. They don't know any other culture.
Yeah.
newsflash.
That's where I grew up. It's all white. There's nobody.
Well, Chatham, but you grew up. That's a blue collar.
But I lived in Kentucky before that.
That's was that
very
like
racially mixed school.
Oh yeah.
Where some kids were bussed in.
Black kids or white kids?
Black kids were bussed into
Right.
the school that I was in. Remember busing? You might remember.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I lived in Union, New Jersey, where we were the only town. We won like an award or something because we bussed. White kids got bused in the black neighborhood. 1 grade, 6th grade. We went into the black neighborhood, and that was like a big thing. Unsuccessful program.
Not a great idea, as it turns
But
out.
it lasted a while. We called it.
But I had black friends because
I had
of that.
a ton of them.
By
Yeah.
the time I moved to Chatham, New Jersey, I had lived and gone to school with black kids in Kentucky for a few years.
So, why not?
I was like, but the other kids that grew up in the town that I did, by the time they were, out in the world, they were like, oh my God, there's people of different colors in the world.
Right, but that's what I mean.
This is a whole different.
These kids watch TV, and they, not everybody's like Blair Underwood on LA Law. You know what I mean? And some kids,
I was thinking Blair from Facts of Life.
Not everybody's like her either. Or Gary Coleman. That's another job. That's what these kids don't get. I burn all the bridges you can burn in show business. I burn all of them. As a matter of fact, I was on a crack den in LA once, and I accidentally burned Todd Bridges. They sit there again. I said, Google Todd Bridges. You'll love that job. You'll love it. And it doesn't work with Lloyd Bridges. I told Esty that. It doesn't work with Jeff or Lloyd Bridges. Artie changed.
Bo, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Bo.
Bo. Yeah, Bo's disgusting. But one of my first jokes I got in trouble with Esty, I said, in Florida, I read in a science magazine. This joke's unbelievable right there. I'm reading a science magazine. But I said...
This is a ridiculous premise.
I said, shut up. Get off the stage. That's ridiculous. You don't have a water park in Flint, Michigan. We just Googled you.
I still can't believe you bought that place.
I love it. You know what? If nothing else, I'm keeping it for my family. It's a nice weekend getaway. Fuck you. We're having a good time. Dad, I have something feels like lead in my stomach. Shut up. Look at the poor kids. They're dealing with it. I said they did in Florida. This was in the late 80s. I did this one. And when I first started, I said in Florida they're teaching certain dolphins how to speak, and Mark Duper's up to full sentences. And he was, African American wide receiver for the Dolphins. And the guy said, "Do it with Dan Marino." I go, I'm not doing the joke with Dan Marino. Why? It doesn't work with Dan Marino. He's very articulate. Do you get it? It's teaching a guy how to speak. The guy can't put 2 fucking words together. And he wanted me to try it with Dan Marino. I said, "You try it with Dan Marino. I'm not going to bomb up there." And, then me and Esty got into a wrestling match. She's tough. Artie, try it with Dan Marino. And then get up. Louis here.
Move over.
I tell you, I've been there a long time. Ben will back me up on this. If Ben was there, he would have defended me. I'm sitting there talking to Esty. We're having a wonderful conversation. She looks over my shoulder, and she goes, Louis here. She goes, get up. Holy shit, I pulled a muscle.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of there.
It's funny. It's a you get a different thing depending on who's in there.
No, absolutely.
Once in a while, I'm the big shot in there. Not often, but it's different than when I'm
Now what do you do?
When I'm 7th on the list. I gotta go find a seat over in the
what
front.
sucks is when you hear like Guy Code is here. Who's here? Guy Code. Guy Code. I'm getting up for Guy Code.
I was like, who are? I didn't know who any of those dudes were.
Me neither.
I like those guys are good though.
Well, they go on tour. They all have 3 minutes. 84 of them got to go on tour.
I think they're nice guys though. Like,
I'm talking about the chicks. Schultz. I don't know a lot of them.
Oh, so they would be on Girl Code, the guys?
They're both. They cross over.
The girls are on Guy Code, or the guys are on Girl Code.
They cross over, which is very smart. That's what Fantasy Island and Love Boat would have done that with.
They waited too long.
Tonight on Fantasy Island, Gopher.
Welcome
to Fantasy Island. Peter Dinklage has tattoo. Peter Dinklage would have killed on that tattoo. He would have been so much better. I argue it's all material with actors. Like if Marlon Brando was Skipper on Gilligan's Island, would he have done that much better than that guy? It's all about material. It is. It's about the script. What's Brando going to do with that?
Gilligan, little buddy.
Listen, Gilligan, little buddy, do me a favor.
Gilligan, you little motherfucker.
Listen, do me a favor. Did you tell the professor that I got to talk to him and send Ginger in? Listen, tell the Howells we're going to need some more cash. Tell the Howells we need more cash. And it's Marianne's wedding. I can't turn.
I was just gonna say.
Can't turn down anybody on Marianne's wedding.
The day of Marianne's wedding.
I understand 2 astronauts.
You'll come to me with these coconuts.
I can't refuse the coconuts.
You make a radio.
I understand you made a radio out of coconut. Now, do you have that technology? Also, who do I see about getting another shirt? I have one blue shirt. And yeah, can I get pants that go down to my ankles?
I want you to take this package to the other side of the aisle.
I understand 2 astronauts. 2 astronauts that crashed in the lagoon. Yeah, Gilligan, stay the fuck away from them. We want to get out of here. Quite frankly, Gilligan, you become an embarrassment. Gilligan's like Fredo. It ain't the way I wanted it. I'm the assistant professor, and I was looked over. That's the way the skipper wanted it.
Gilligan, the Gilligan Godfather.
What was it? That guy.
God Gilligan.
The guy Fred Travelino, the Precious, did a bit where if Paul Lynde was Fredo, and someone said to him, "Why did Dad look you over?" He goes, "I don't know. I guess I'm just different." I don't know. I guess I'm just different. I was watching that the other day when Diane Keaton tells Pacino she had an abortion. Pacino really hits her. I mean,
Yes.
how does she not get in there?
Oh, it's a very real hit.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And she went right into Looking for Mr. Goodbar after that. That was a rough year.
You're a movie guy. You know, like
I do. I like the
about
70s movies. I enjoy. I think that was the best era for films. I do.
You go to movies now? You watch a lot of movies now?
I can't go. Danny goes to everything.
I can't go. I don't go out to them.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I still watch them a lot.
Because what if I'm sitting there and the guy code comes in? I gotta get up.
SD comes.
What if just I know she follows me around? She follows me around everywhere I go.
Up.
Are you in the diner? She calls my cell phone. Where are you? Are you at the Yankee game? Get up! Andrew Schultz is coming.
How great is the cellar, though? Like,
it is fun.
Whenever you go out on the road, it's just like, oh, I can't wait to get back to the cellar.
No, it's a lot of fun. You have chats like this. This is what we do for a living. And every once in a while, a chick at the bar hangs a curve over the plate and you jerk it out of the park. A lot of times you got a slider you can't touch. But but and that's I love teasing. She is such a they're my family. They're like whenever you don't have this problem. I have a lot of demons. Whenever I've had to leave for jail or mental homes or rehab, and I come back, I don't feel like I'm officially back in show business until I go to the cellar. And Manny and Gnome's Kid, man, just the whole history of it, and what a successful. They're doing something right. Like what a success. And they sell out. They open up a new club and sell out. They got the Midas touch.
They've done it right, man.
They really have.
For the record, you said Gnome's Kid Manny. I think you should go back and say Manny's Kid.
I thought I said, well, yeah, okay, you're right. You know what it is?
I'm sitting here debating. Should I say something?
It's you know what? It's the Ritalin. But I do love that place.
I do too, man.
It's very, very, very. It's fun,
and it does make you feel like you're back. You're in the game when you're feeling like you're not.
Right, and it's that fan ain't passing there. Let me put it to you that way. It's got a quality about it.
You got to get in,
right?
No matter what. It's funny. I was just in L.A. at the Comedy Store, which is where I started.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And somebody told me
you went there first. Well, let's get into the history of Ben. Okay, Ben, you auditioned for Cash Cab.
I did, yeah.
Which you beat out a lot of guys, and just perfect for that job. Just so great, a great host. And,
thanks, man.
And again, to show you the popularity of it, about 3 years ago, I'm with my uncle, and my cousin, and over my shoulder, they see Louis C.K. They say, "Get up!" No, no, they saw Ben Cash Cab. They went, "Well, Ben Cash Cab." They're like, "There's Elvis," and I said, they said, knowing I do comedy, I said, I kind of know Betty's a really nice guy. I said, I'll go say hi. I go, maybe, I don't know, it's a long shot, maybe a lesbian. And I went over and said hi to you, and he couldn't have been cooler. He goes, yeah, we'll finish this and we'll just pretend like you're hailing a cab. And Mike, they could not believe it. They were calling, their wives and their goomads.
That was fun. That was a great ride, man.
So we won $2,200. I mean, how often does that happen? But the great thing is, Colin Quinn was our, a savior.
Shout out, yeah.
Shout out.
No, he didn't save you, man. He missed it.
He's the one. He's the only question we got wrong.
He's the only one he got wrong.
Yeah,
call me.
It's Mr. Stonybrook. I know he's the smartest, one of the smartest guys I know, and he got it right, but just over. The question was, what building in Washington has an underground labyrinth, like a maze where you can get away? And I thought the Pentagon, blah, blah, and Colin got it, which was Congress, but he just
you're right. He missed the time.
It.
Yeah, it was just after. That's
but
right.
we answered almost every other question. We won $2,200, and they were ecstatic. And,
that was great.
When it aired, it was like they had a party. I've been on 22 TV shows, never one party.
There's a guy who comes into the cellar once in a while who was on Cash Cab.
Yeah.
And he lost. And then they told him it was going to be on.
Right.
And he had his whole family come over.
That sucks, man.
And it wasn't on.
Oh.
And he shows up at the cellar once
It's
in
like
a while.
getting
He
bumped.
just sits there and looks at me.
It's like getting bumped at your own house.
I'm like, dude, I didn't have anything to do with that. Here's the number you could call the production company.
When I was doing the Norm Show, a sitcom on ABC, was the most mainstream thing I ever did. They let me do Hollywood Squares. I said, I have to do a week there because...
You did Hollywood Squares?
Yeah, I said, I have to do it. That's the only thing my grandmother bragged about that I ever did. Artie's on Hollywood Squares. Well, I'm not permanent. Not like I'm Whoopi. I got every question wrong.
Everyone wrong?
All week. Every question wrong. Finally, I just tried to be like an old school comic. Every question I said, my wife. But the way I cost this woman about 10 grand at the end was so terrible. Tom Bergeron says, this woman $10,000. And I'll take Artie to win. Okay? Oh. Which I never felt more pressure in my life after that sentence. I'll take Artie to win. Never in my life. So she the question is, who did Bill Clinton say was his favorite person in the history of the 21st century? And I'm saying, well, I know it's not Monica Lewinsky. So I said, I was such a motherfucker. I said, listen, sweetie, I just saw him interviewed. I just saw this interview today. There's no way I'm wrong. It's Gandhi. I said, no, it's JFK. It's JFK. I just saw it. She goes, you saw an interview? Yeah. Well, if you saw the interview, I'll go with him. And he went, ugh, Gandhi. It got an audible boo. An audible like, boo. But, yeah.
But that's the idea, right? Yeah.
And since then, Bruce Valanche has not returned a call. Funniest line ever on the road. Nick DiPaolo and Colin Quinn go when they're doing a gig in Albany. They go to La Quinta Inn in a room that hadn't been washed, and it was disgusting. And Colin said, it smells like Bruce Valanche tried to kick coke for 2 weeks in here. Could that be more descriptive?
La Quinta.
But so Ben, really made him. You look back, you go, there's no one who could have been better at that job. It's like really great. And so
nice.
you were saying the Comedy Store. So you're from New Jersey. You went out to LA first.
I went to LA. I threw it all in.
What year's this?
This is 93.
Okay.
I just sold a bunch of stuff and was like, I'm moving to LA.
Right,
I'm going to try to get into movies. I want to work in movies in some capacity.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I know this is cliche. There's a million kids doing this right now.
Well,
but
so now were you doing stand-up at that time?
I hadn't done stand-up yet. I fell into doing stand-up. I got a job at the Comedy Store.
Yeah. Were you like a doorman or something?
I was. I answered the phones in the green room.
Okay. Well, why not? Was Mitzi still there at that point?
Mitzi was still there. I did bartend. I did work the door a little bit.
What was Mitzi like to work for in that?
Mitzi fired me about 50 times.
Why did Paulie say you're not ready for the store?
But he would actually save me. She just kind of had this phase where she was kind of firing everybody.
Oh, really?
She's walking around.
Once you started to lose it,
you're fired.
You're fired. You're fired.
And Paulie would be like, "Come on, Ma." He doesn't. He didn't. I didn't put the candles out at the outside bar. And she was like, "Where are the candles?" And I was like, and I was filling in. I didn't even know about the candles.
Right.
I'm like, I didn't know are there candles, and she's like, "You're fired."
Oh my God!
Don't come back. And
how did she deal with
and
your
Paulie
brother?
was behind her, cleaning up. Like,
Oh, yeah?
Like, you're not fired. Come, we need you tomorrow.
Oh.
We're shorthanded as it is.
Well, that's hilarious. I mean, because he, again, what was he like to hang with? I mean, in that capacity, was he like?
He was all right, man. He was
Yeah.
like just kind of a nice guy, He
Right.
He didn't have an attitude or. He was just cool.
So was he in that character a lot? Was he the weasel?
He was sort of like half weasel.
He was Wheeze.
He was Wheeze. He was, he was like sort of in the character, but not like completely.
I'm the
I remember he was on.
Molly.
He was on Howard.
Yeah. Right. Well, he's been there a few times. When I was there, he was on a few times.
And Howard was like, "Stop doing the character.
Shut up.
Why don't you just talk?"
You got the money though.
And then Paulie was like, "Okay." And Howard was like, "I can't believe you just gave up your whole fucking character because I told you to. What the hell's wrong with you?"
I know. It's
He
like,
just
what? Go
flipped it
back
on
to
him.
that. Go back to that.
But Paulie was always nice to me.
Yeah. He there's different stories. Again, he was always sort of nice to me, I guess.
He brought me a cupcake once.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I mean something crazy.
Yeah, he just brought me a cupcake.
You remind me of a cupcake.
Brought you a cupcake.
He just did a Showtime special in Washington. It was a political. Paulie's Weasel is political. That was like the name of it. And this was the big joke. This was the closer. Osama rhymes with Obama. Did anybody notice Osama rhymes with Obama? Check that out. Check it out.
There's a crowd just going crazy.
Yeah,
at that.
yeah, crazy. Like yeah. They kept saying, "Wait a minute, that's right." We never realized
never
that.
noticed.
He's going up to cops. Yo, dude, check that out. There's a clue, dude. There's a clue. I'm breaking you off a chunk. I'm giving you a tasty nug of information, dude.
That's a frighteningly good Paulie score that you did, man.
He told me I wasn't ready for the store once. That's what he told me.
So I started there.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So that's a hard place to. And then
And that was the first room I was ever passed at.
Did you do the belly room first?
I did the belly room first, and then I had an audition in the OR for Mitzi.
Right. Oh, yeah.
She was like, "You're funny. You can work." And that was it. But then I was passed. But then I moved home to Jersey.
Right.
Moved back home. I figured I was going to do stand-up, so then I started going into New York.
Okay.
But I was just out there, and I guess Louis taped a special there like a year ago.
He
or
did, right?
something.
Exactly, yeah.
And they said that he was talking. I don't know if it's on the special or if he was just talking to some guys before. He said because that's the first place he ever did stand up.
Right.
He going in there now, even now, he gets nervous.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I'm like, oh my god, it's so. 100% true for me too.
Absolutely.
Going back in there, I'm still feel like I did the first time. All like
well, that's
sweating.
why if you do an activity with something the first time, anything you relate to, you still get nervous. Like if it's the first. That's why I always get nervous when I fuck a 300-pound Puerto Rican chick. Because I say I'm going right back to day one. And do you have and I say to them, do you have a tattoo of your dead brother on your neck? Because then I can't do this. That's what the first one was. And she broke my heart. Drug mule. True story. The chick I lost my virginity to became a drug mule. And I wanted to write a movie called My Version of Serendipity where years later I'm doing a line of coke and I realize it came out of her ass.
Oh, God.
She should like through some magical thing. I go, wait a minute. Is that you, Alejandro? Is that the scent of Alejandro? I know it was in your ass. That can only be Alejandro's ass. And then she's somewhere like, at gunpoint in the Best Western.
Oh, God.
And she gets like a tingle in her ass. Goes, whoa, is that you, Artie? You owe me $50. But that's intimidating to get up at the Comedy Store. I mean, they wanted me to go to the belly room. I was on a show. I was a regular in a bunch of clubs in New York, and I got chosen to go to L.A. with a job on a network show. Still intimidated, still hard. They wanted me to go to the belly room, and I thought it was a fat joke. I said, all right, whatever. Not going to the belly room, ha. But it's like a real upstairs.
It's a real little room upstairs.
There's ghosts of Richard Pryor there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's an intimidating room.
Place
But
is crazy, yeah.
You just sort of went, that's great that you did it that way.
That's the first place. The belly room is the first place I ever did a spot.
Wow. Yeah.
I got a laugh. I said, I was really nervous coming up here, but then I remembered from the Brady Bunch to just picture everyone in their underwear.
That's right.
That's the first thing I ever said on stage.
That Marsha or Jan is right.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I was like, like some big fat guy. I was like, you look great in those panties or something. and got a little bit of a laugh.
Right.
And immediately I was like, oh my God.
Good with that. Doesn't that feel good? That feels so great.
I felt like I was home, When I got a laugh, I was like, oh, this is it.
The best feeling ever.
Yeah.
The best feeling ever.
So lucky, looking back, that all these little things happened the way they did.
Right.
That put me in that spot.
Yeah.
I never would have sought it out.
Everything goes back to that last, you feel like you'll never forget that last spot. That first spot.
Yeah.
And it's hard when it takes a while. Some people like Seinfeld said he was funny from the first time he got up there. It's so hard to believe that anybody is. But because it's such an odd thing to do, like get up in front of strangers and say, because you're already telling them, you already have an arrogant attitude. Like I think, not only do I think what I have to say is funny and interesting, I think you'll overpay for drinks to hear it. That's essentially what we're saying. Look at a club like the Comedy or any club. They make people wait in the rain, and they get in there. The cover charge is usually overcharged. They pay $14 for a bottle of Rolling Rock. You got to buy 2 of them for you and the fucking broad you're with or whatever. I apologize. And if you're in your safe space, I apologize. And the only reason they get away with that, Ben, is because we're funny. That's the only reason they get away with it. It's because
Deliver the laughs. Man.
Right, that's it.
And laugh and forget about this shit that sucks in their life.
Well, yeah. Did you ever deal with Lucian at the comic strip?
Oh, I knew Lucian.
Yeah, he's right. He would
was
say,
harsh,
I need a laugh from you every 11 seconds. So what the fuck is that? What Jesus?
You would go into that little closet in the front and have his your chat about your act.
I failed like 4 times. He goes, I already have a fat Italian guy. I go, here or at home? Is he decomposing in a drum?
Let him go. Get a new one.
Yeah, exactly. No,
he said to me, he goes,
he was harsh.
You have a very funny act, Ben, but anyone could do it.
That's what he was like.
I was like, but I am doing it.
I burn a lot of bridges. I have a lot of anger.
What are you so angry about, man?
Oh, I don't know. I could be in better shape, quite frankly, but I'm not gonna lie.
Physical shape?
I don't know. I have lupus, AIDS. I don't know why. I said it loud too. Lupus, AIDS.
Dude, I went to Amsterdam.
Oh, me too.
They came around. Remember, they came around. They were like, "We're doing a tour. We're going to bring all these New York comics to Holland."
Oh no, I didn't do that, but I know I did Edinburgh once. I never did that. Yeah.
And I went to.
That must have been fun.
It was fun, man. I was there for a while, and Vanessa was on the tour, so Lucian was there. And I don't know if you noticed when you were there, but Dutch people are giants.
Oh, they are big.
They're so tall. I'm 6'6". Yeah. At least I used to be.
I know, absolutely.
And I would see at least one woman every day in Holland that was as tall as I am.
I need a stepladder to kiss a whore.
And 10 guys that were they're way taller than me. They're like the tallest people around.
Hitler Youth.
So Godfrey.
Yeah.
Godfrey and I keep like laughing about how tall these Dutch guys are.
Right,
they're all like 6'10".
He's fun to hang out with Godfrey.
And skinny and gangly and Lucian the whole time will not admit it.
Right.
He's like, I don't know why you keep making a big deal out of how tall these people are. They're no taller than anybody else.
We're not as smart as you.
I'm like, Lucian, they're the tallest people in the world. While we're talking to him, these giant dudes are just walking by. So like 2 years go by after that tour. I'm up at the comic strip, and we're talking about this, how the Dutch people are so tall, and Lucian would never acknowledge it.
Right.
And I'm calling him out. I'm like a little further along in my career, and I'm ready. I'm willing
confident.
to challenge him on shit instead of just sitting quietly so I don't lose my spots.
Right.
And I go, Lucian, I don't know why you wouldn't acknowledge it. There was just giant Dutch dudes all over the place, and you kept saying, "Oh no." And so while we're talking, this dude comes in the front door of the comic strip.
Yeah.
And he's so tall he has to duck to get through the door, the front door of the club. And I go, look, here's a giant Dutchman right now as a joke. Here's a giant Dutchman right now to prove my point.
That's perfect.
And the guy comes up and I go, "Are you from Holland?" And he goes, "How did you know?"
Get out of
I
here.
swear to God.
Oh, that's almost like you're paying. Like moments like that, do not. That's amazing.
It's like in the Woody Allen movie when they're in the line.
Marshall McLuhan.
And they're he's
I
the
happen
director's
to have
behind
I happen
him.
to have a huge Dutchman right here.
Look, he can attest. I have a living example.
You know what's great about what you just said there? Lucian was like that guy who was being on the line, who was pontificating. Like, he was like,
exactly.
He knew a lot about everything. And you know what? I forget the kid's name. He wasn't around long, but a black comic used to call him Lotion.
Lotion.
Oh, it used to make, and it pissed him off so bad. He's going, Lotion, man! like trying to be overly friendly, like, Lotion!
It's my man, Lotion.
Oh, how great is that Lotion? You'll laugh at this now because I have a story about a big Dutchman. I was in Amsterdam for a friend's bachelor party, and it was at the height of my drug use, and I was in withdrawals, and I went to the red light district. I got a whore. Not a lot of money. She was like an Arizona 9. I mean, like $80.
An Arizona 9.
Shekels, whatever that was. Yeah, very pretty.
So that's good.
And, yeah, very, very pretty.
At Arizona, I was like, I didn't know Arizona had its own scale.
Well, for me it does because I'm, a whoremonger. And she actually showed me around. She knew more than the tour guide. I called her whore guide. It's in my book. I copyrighted that. I made no money with it. But she goes back to my hotel room. We're crushing up Oxycontin all weekend, and I didn't go to my first bachelor party because who cares? I was with this whore.
Oh God!
I was with this hot chick. She had drugs, and I was like, it was a great time. If your young kids are listening, that's not a great time. You should work out.
There's nothing fun about
You should
that.
get some kale and work out. But so we go on. We're in a dark room. I'm in another country. I've never been there. I'm in a dark kitchen doing Oxycontin with a whore. And I said, let's get out. Let's get out and be positive today. We were together for 2 days, and I'm on the meter, by the way. So so she said, this lunch is on me. We go out and we get one of those.
Like, yeah, sure it is.
we go out of the canal and we get in the canal and one of those things, a gondola, whatever the fuck. And we got what you're talking about, a big blonde, like a big fucking guy, and he knows he's giving the tour shit in his accent, and he's looking around. He sees the Anne Frank house, and he goes, and that is the Anne Frank house. Very sad. Very sad what happens there. Very sad. A moment of silence. He puts his head down. And I guess he counts what's like an appropriate time.
Right.
And then he gets up, and I swear to God, he gets up and goes, and he points to the building next to the Anne Frank house. Goes, and that is a great place for pancakes. Boy, you got over that quick, didn't you, Gunther? Did the Frank family say, fuck, let's have some pancakes? And that is a great place for come on.
Somebody had when I was there, I think it was a British guy, a great bit about the Anne Frank house. Like, I know how they found it. There's a sign right out front. There's a sign in the front lawn.
That is stupid. Yeah, there was this sort of happened. I got my cousin was over there the other time I went. Again, another attempt at a bachelor party, and we smoked this hash before we went to the Anne Frank house. Big mistake. Do not smoke hash before you go through that. Because my cousin, we're giggling. Like, because of the hash was so amazing. And we drank the hash oil, and we had an edible muffin and all this shit. Like Afghan Kush muffin. That's insane. And he basically said out loud, my cousin basically said, she has plenty of room.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
She had plenty of room. Like, what is she bitching about? Take the fucking stick out of your ass. That's what he said. And the only thing more offensive is when I said AIDS. Listen, AIDS.
Dude, have you ever heard of the Winchester Mystery House?
No.
It's this crazy place, man.
It sounds crazy.
The Winchester Repeating Arms Company, Winchester Rifles, right?
Right.
That company made, millions and millions and millions,
Absolutely.
probably hundreds of millions of dollars when that was like all the money
Killed
in the
a
world.
lot of Indians.
And the guy, Winchester, died and left the fortune of Winchester
Right.
Repeating Arms Corporation to his wife.
Right.
This is like in Ohio.
Uh-huh.
She went kind of crazy, thinking that she was being haunted by the ghosts of people that had been killed by the guns.
Oh my God!
So she packs up from Ohio, and she moves to San Jose.
Okay.
And she has so much money that she just keeps adding on to this house so that she can hide from the ghosts.
Oh my God!
Right, so she built this house that looks like a maze.
God, the builders were happy.
She had a full, she had a crew of I think it's 16 guys or something that just worked continuously.
Construction workers dressing up like ghosts.
So, Brian Scalero? You know him?
I know that name. Yeah,
he's a comic, funny dude.
Right.
He came along and was working with me that weekend, and I had played in this like celebrity golf tournament thing,
right?
And I got a gift bag that had a Johnny Rockets platinum card in it, which I later found out meant that I could take as many people as I wanted,
right?
Go to any Johnny Rockets anywhere.
I have a black card
and eat anything, whatever we wanted for as long as we wanted. It was ridiculous. So Brian comes with me, and we're doing this gig, and we're thinking about going to the Mystery House. We go to Johnny Rockets. We go to Johnny Rockets and we eat everything we can eat for like an hour and a half.
That's great.
I show the platinum card and they're like, everyone wants to come and look and see who the guy is who has a platinum card.
That's great.
They bring us all the fast food we can eat for like 90 minutes. And then we go to the Winchester Mystery House. It has like 67 rooms in it, and we farted. We farted in every single fucking room of that place. It was awful. We should not be in these tiny little rooms with this tour. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Ghost with gas.
It's unbelievable.
That's fantastic. There's so many.
I couldn't help but think of that when you're talking about
so many
it.
There's so many funny layers to that story.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I tried to get the platinum card for Johnny Rockets. They told me they couldn't put it. They started losing money with it after the festival the year before with the guy who won it. And I said, and then Ralphie May last week.
Ralphie May put Johnny Rockets out of business.
I can do that. I think at the comic shop, I was the one. I single-handedly remember in the early '90s, comics. If you had a spot at the comic shop, you drank for free. And I would have when I first passed, I'd have like a Monday night at 11:30, and then I would get my $15, and then I would sit and drink all the Absolute they had, and like with shots of Cuervo, and I think Lucian was breaking even with a comedy club. He said, "All right, listen, you can't do this anymore," and no comic could then drink. That was a nice.
Yeah, you get like one beer.
So when did you move to Cash Cab? Obviously, is based in New York. Did you move to New York because of that?
No. I only lived in L.A. for about 6 months.
Okay.
I started doing stand up. Figured out that's what I wanted to do.
So all that happened in 6 months at the Comedy Store.
Yeah. And then I moved home and started doing it in New York.
When I first met Mitzi Shore, I realized that Louis Anderson was doing an impression of her. That they sound exactly the same.
They sound a lot alike. Oh my God.
They do.
He just won an Emmy.
For what?
For playing Zach's mom.
Is he
on Zach's show?
Louis Anderson?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did Louis Anderson make the big announcement ever in his life?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so. I think it's in one of his books.
Let me get that one. No, there's a great story. A disc jockey sent this to us at Howard. He called Rodney Dangerfield, and Rodney Dangerfield thought it was Louis Anderson. It's a terrible impression, but Rodney was out of it. It was towards the end of his life.
Right.
And this was touching, too, because Rodney was such a nice guy. He helped a lot of comics, I heard. And Louis, this kid does a Kansas City disc jockey. Like, hey, we're going to call. I guess we're going to call. We got Rodney's number, man. And we're going to call. It's Louis. I'm going to do my Louis impression. So literally, this is the kid's Louis impression. Hey, Rodney, it's Louis Anderson. Rodney's Louis Anderson. Yeah, I just blew the 5 o'clock whistle. I'm back here at 23 minutes on the hot side of 9 o'clock. I took a minute to make my bladder gladder. Yeah, and
that's perfect.
I'm taking 2 kids to the Green Day show. They're going to sing their anti-Trump song.
That's a quintessential DJ. That was fucking great.
Hey, what's going on? This lover boy is going to blow the 5 o'clock whistle at 59 degrees. And we got my character, a guy with the gout's coming up, and I do a guy with the gout. It's a big story.
And, do they actually have Rodney on the phone?
They call Rodney up and they go, well, the kid.
Louis, you sound so different.
Louis says, Louis, you sound like Wolfman Jack. No, and he did. I'm exaggerating. He did it pretty good, but Rodney fell for it. He thought it was Louis Anderson. He goes, Rodney, it's Louis. I'm in Las Vegas and I'm drunk. And what is so touching about it, Rodney really is trying to help. Okay, he goes, come on, get out of there, kid. You don't want to be there. You don't want to drink. I've been depressed in Vegas. Come on, buddy. I'll pick you up at the airport. Like, he's being like really nice. And Louis goes, I'm afraid of the planes in Vegas. He goes, why? What's the matter? You fly all the time. He goes, last time I was on the plane, the stewardess, this beautiful woman, tried to hit on me. And then there's a pause. And Ronnie goes, well, she's barking up the wrong tree there.
Yeah. For real, that actually happened?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The kid hung up. Ronnie never knew it wasn't Louis. Never thought it wasn't Louis Anderson.
Yeah, Louis didn't know about it at all.
No,
until now.
Well, Louis, it's funny. I just saw a picture of him, and he looks a little feminine. He does look. He played Zach Galifianakis' mother.
Yeah, he plays his mom on the show.
That's great. I've never seen it. I would love to see it.
He's great, dude. Louis
Baskets.
Great.
And he just
it's a
won.
funny show.
What's it called?
Too, yeah.
Baskets.
No
Baskets.
Kidding.
Yeah, that's
no
right.
kidding.
Yeah.
Is that like basket cases or something? What does that mean, baskets?
I'm not certain.
I think it's the name of the clown.
Well, I got.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Zach's clown's.
He's a
character.
clown.
He's a clown. Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay.
And that's the clown's name. Baskets. That's right. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
He's like a clown who studied. He went to clown school in France, but failed out, and no one takes him seriously as a clown.
That's the Jerry Lewis School of Clowning in France. Again, Louis was what a great comic. His first couple specials on Showtime were really hilarious.
He's hilarious, man.
I did that show he used to host. The first time I ever did stand up on TV was that show on NBC after SNL that he hosted, where 5 comics would come on. So Bobby Slayton is before me, and they told me you got to do 8 minutes on the button. So I'm at my fucking hotel like some dweeb, fucking rookie, timing out exactly 8 minutes.
Right.
And I've done the road with these jokes. I know the fucking amount of laughter. It's the most regimented I've ever been in my life. And Bobby Slayton, goes on, does a loose 45 minutes. Crowd work. Wait, no, you fag, man. No, you fag in front of him. You're fucking fag in front of him.
He is the pit bull of comedy.
He is. He's great. But I'm like, I had my girlfriend. I introduced my girlfriend to him in Las Vegas. I said, this is my girlfriend, Bobby. And he went, how you doing, sweetie? And he looks at me and goes, hey, Artie, you want to go to Hooters Casino and do some coke? Once again, Bob, let's take this again. This is my girlfriend. How you doing, sweetie? Want to go to the Hooters Casino and do some coke? Everything about that sentence I'm going to think is a no. There's not one positive yes in there. So I get up there, and Louis is very depressed in between the takes, and he seemed drunk. He had a lot of booze on his breath. Of course, it could have been my breath, but it was sad, because I was a fan of his. So I do my act, and I do very well, and I'm very happy. But I look down, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. I figured they'll let the 30 seconds go. The guy goes, no, we need 30 seconds from you. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a joke. So this is what I said on television. I never did this joke before or since. I said, my trainer told me to treat my body like a temple, and the problem is I'm a Nazi. That's what I said. I said, I'm going through my own private crystal knock, which made it worse. Okay.
Quiet,
dead silence. Matter of fact, not only dead silence, you can hear Bobby Slayton coughing in the back asking for his check. Now what is this, $8,000? No, you can hear the hatred. Like, not only is dead silence, you can hear people organizing, like the townspeople to come burn me.
Come and chase you out of town.
I don't know what made me think. On the plane, I said, maybe that's a joke somewhere there. I never did. On television, I debuted it. And I haven't done it. This is the first time I've done it.
Sometimes you don't say the exact thing you.
I said Nazi temple. Yeah,
dude, I did this. I did an episode.
But listen. This is how this ends.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's dead silence, and then all you hear after like what seems like a year of silence, Artie Lang. He comes out. He goes, "Listen, Artie, there's applause." He goes, "That was great." Fake smile plastered to his face. That was great. Listen, that last thing, we'll just cut that out. That's no big deal. That happens all the time. We'll cut that out. The guy goes, "And we're out." The camera's off, and Lou goes, puts his head down, pouting, and just walks away from me. I tried to shake his hand. I never saw him again. He promised me he'd cut it out. Okay, cut to like 8 months later. It airs. It might as well have been called the Bobby Slayton Special. They air my stuff. They air my stuff. One joke I did that killed early on, they didn't do because they were offended by it because I had to do with drinking and driving. And so they cut that. To make time for that, they keep the last joke. Oh. They didn't even like move it around to where can you put it over there so I don't bomb with the so I tell everybody to watch. I destroy for 7.5 minutes. I tell that joke and bomb. All anybody I know goes, we're sorry about that. Everybody calls me up and goes, my age, like, this is bad, dude. It's bad. It's bad. I go, what? They didn't see I was killed. But what's with the fucking anti-Semitic? They cut the joke for drinking and driving. They left in like I'm fucking Goebbels. They left it at the end.
What are you making a joke about how you're treating yourself anyway?
I know. It's my body's a temple. And I crystal knock. Where they broke all the glasses and started to kill the Jews. You know that? That didn't go over with. Bobby Slayton coughing. Bobby Slayton calling everyone the first row fag. That's fine. That's fine. Pretending that grabbing a guy's wife's head and making it like she's blowing him. That's in. That's in.
That's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
What year was this?
This is the first time I ever did stand up on TV. 94, whatever it is. And then
things were different then. Still very different from now, right?
Right. Well, I guess Auschwitz has always been a thing, but
that's still now
from day fucking
would not
one.
Be acceptable.
But
but like some of the stuff that Bobby was getting away with, probably wouldn't fly now.
And the funniest thing ever is Louis Artie Lang, everybody. As soon I felt so bad. As soon as the lights are off, he goes, just like a robot. We'll cut that out. Sure. You were great. Such energy. And we're done. His leg goes limp. Don't worry. I said to him, don't worry. In 15 years, Zach Galifianakis going to get a show. You're going to play his mom.
You could win an Emmy.
You and Jeffrey Tambor are going to win Emmys for playing broads. Don't worry about it. There's all these shows on now with political correctness, like Netflix is under the radar. That these like Jeffrey Tambor with the Trans
America,
right? Yeah, right.
Or transparent.
Now, what do you do? Do you have a? I feel like did you tell me you had a deal somewhere or something? Like what's going on with you?
I'm launching a web platform. It's already launched, but it's got a whole bunch of stuff on it. It's got a new stand-up special. It's just my website, therealbenbailey.com.
That's awesome. Now, what do you find that must be great to do? Yeah, I've always loved your stand-up. Ben has always made me laugh. Artie. Yeah, no, you're one of those guys. You're just a funny guy, man. That's why my uncle and Connie said, yeah, he's a nice guy. Maybe he'll maybe
he'll give us a lift.
Well, immediate acceptance. Like I got them on a TV show in a second, and I said, I don't want to hear you guys bitch about anything ever again, ever again. How about a fucking no, I'm not bringing a gift Thanksgiving. You're on Cash Cab, and I let them have a 22 Hyundai. What the hell? That's the kind of guy I am.
You let them keep it?
I said split it. What do I give a shit? I'm magnanimous. I was getting some blood work back. I don't think I'd be around.
You guys can split this unless I live.
Yeah, why don't you split it? I got something's gonna happen.
And then I want my third.
I've got AIDS. But the freedom of a stand-up special like that must be great.
It feels good, man. It feels like a risk.
Right.
Like about a year ago, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of trying to sell stuff. Trying to convince people to make the stuff I want to make. Trying to get on a show that I don't have anything to do with the production of, or
Well, we have similar careers in the sense that we kick the last on something that people know us for, and we're out there in the new world now where we're known, but you're adjusting still to this. You
got to find another place to fit in.
Guy code kind of world with technology. But what you're doing is like even with this podcast. I charge $7 a month. That's $1/4 a day. A guy still bitch about it. I don't want to hear it. I promise. They get like 2-hour podcasts. You're a little light on the podcast. Shut up. $1/4 a day, dick lick. They got a fucking 38-year-old guys telling about $1/4 a day. How emasculating. What the fuck do you do? Then don't listen to me.
Dude, a buddy of mine had a garage sale. And these people came. They show. I don't know if you ever had a garage sale, but if you do,
we did it when I left my old house.
People will show up.
Right.
You say 7 a.m. The people will be there at 6.
They're a rare breed of people.
And they come in. This woman comes in and she's like looking around in his stuff. I can't remember what it was. It's like a set of coasters or something.
Right.
And it was he had it there for $1. And she was like, "This $1?" And he's like, "Yeah." Yeah, it's $1. There's a sticker right on it says $1. She's like, I don't know. She goes, how about 50 cents?
Shut up.
And he's like, he goes, okay, 50 cents. And she goes, how about,
No.
I swear to God, she goes, how about a quarter? He goes, no.
Yeah, stop.
No.
I'm stepping on. I'm putting the fucking line down.
So then he's like,
No,
I felt like such an asshole that I didn't give up for another quarter. But it was principle. I'm like, it was the principle of the thing.
Well, how about that? You just made me think of how pathetic it was if I send out a 2-hour tape of a podcast and they go, quarter, how about 10 cents?
I'll give you a nickel. Pay whatever you like.
My buddy had a garage sale once, true story. He had out an old fungo bat. He used to ground with an Adirondack bat. And he forgot that on the back of it, his father had written, Puerto Rican be good stick.
Oh, Jesus.
And he got like $10 for it. My neighborhood was so bad. I had a garage take sale. They just took everything. People stole shit. I'm like, did you just steal my wind chimes? I got a piss. Boom, boom, boom.
All right, we'll be right back. I'm going to shut this door. You all right with that?
Go right ahead, yeah. We're just telling stories about, we're back, Bailey. Flying by with Ben Bailey, 1 hour and 3 minutes. Already, you're not going to get this quality stuff. Well, where are you going to go?
Quarter a day.
Yeah. Where are you going? To WTF?
How about 50 cents?
Artie, I'll give you. I'm pretty sure I'm paying the kid to listen to the podcast. You know what? Ben was just telling a great story about Colin Quinn's first time he did stand up, and we'll leave it to Colin. When Colin's going to come in here, and I'll let him.
They can listen to it.
I'll
Actually,
remind them. How you on your podcast?
On my podcast,
And,
Tall But True. It's called.
How do they find that again? Find that again. All but true.
TheRealBenBailey.com, and the podcast is called Tall But True, like
Tall but true. Oh, okay.
They sound tall, but they are true.
Right. Well, a great Colin story.
Yeah.
He always makes stuff smarter. Colin. He always smartened up a joke. I was with me, him, and Nick DiPaolo. We're on the road, and politically correct college, George Washington University.
Oh, Jesus.
And there's a blonde girl, cute young blonde girl, doing deaf language, signs on the stage because it's a college, a sorority hired us, and she wanted to make sure deaf people could know. So I said, are there any deaf people here? And there weren't. I go, well, we don't need you. Why would we need you? There's no deaf people here. It's distracting. But she wouldn't go because it was a rule. So she had to say every single thing I said. She had to sign. So I said, you know what? How do you say pussy? And I swear to you, Ben, the way you say pussy for deaf is you make a triangle by your crotch. You made a triangle by your crotch. I said, well, listen, I'm not a smart comic. I'm not known as a smart comic. I'm sort of a hacky dick joke guy. I'm gonna use that. Whereas a lot of people would look over it and try to better themselves and maybe go for a higher than the lowest common. I'm gonna go for the lowest common denominator. After every joke I told, which quite frankly didn't do well, I just said for no reason at all, I said pussy. So I tell the joke, she tells me this, and I go, and pussy. And pussy. So this was like 45 minutes. And Colin was closing, because of course the comedy gods aren't going to let me close. And Colin's closing, and he's watching all this. And he goes out, and of course he does the smart version of what I did. First of all, I ended with like my Rosalita. I said 50 100 straight times. I said pussy. I said pussy 100 straight times. She kept on going, pussy. She almost had an orgasm. Like she was doing TV, like arm curls, and she started to almost cry, which I enjoyed because the political correctness. I had to cure them of this. I said pussy 100 times. She did it 100 times, and they were disgusted with me. Then I left the stage. I left Colin like a 100-foot holder. Colin's first joke, he bombs. Okay, he bombs. She signs it. Colin walks over to the woman, hits her on the head, and says, "Is this on?" Now that's okay. You get me, then you get a smart guy. But here's how I ruin the moment.
Is this on?
Here's how I ruin the moment. As everyone's guffawing, as they die down with the lid, I run out and I say, "Pussy!" And then she does this, and we almost didn't get paid. But is this on? That's a good one.
That's a classic story.
That's a good one.
You would have to play with that. I mean, if someone signing on stage with you.
Exactly, and I'm not exactly like a young fucking George Carlin.
And there's no deaf people in the crowd.
No, there was no deaf people in the fucking crowd.
Which is a shame. It really would have been the funniest thing for them.
And cut to this now.
If there had been one there, they would have appreciated it more than anybody.
Exactly. Are you the one that pussy?
They're like, they get up and be like, this show is vulgar.
Why are you saying pussy? And why am I'm doing like I'm like the mongoloid? I'm like a deaf mongoloid there. That's my new character. Artie Lang is a deaf mongoloid. Can the gang deal with racism? Dan, what was that? Someone wrote an article. Not the defamation league.
It was a
deaf spelled DEAF.
It was a deaf online newsletter.
Yeah, deaf online newsletter.
Right.
This is 15 years ago. This happened, and they wanted me to be protested.
Because he told the story on the podcast last year.
Right, I told the story on the podcast, and then they got mad at me.
This same story.
Yeah. And they wanted to protest because I did 15 years ago.
They wanted to protest your show?
Yeah, because they heard that story and thought it was disgusting. And then a bunch of people were supposedly there.
There's not even a there's not even a handicapped deaf person in the story.
I know.
The person had only heard it from someone else.
Right.
And
then
I said, my question, how did they know?
Right.
Right. No, I said, well, my question is, how did you hear it?
Yeah, totally. How did you hear it? Why are deaf people protesting audio?
How did you hear it? Did someone sign it to you?
They're going to be outside tomorrow morning.
I said, you can't bullshit me. You just said you can't hear, then you said you heard it. Now what? Now who's Perry Mason? On cross-examination.
Shimmel's pit.
Well, that's what
How does a blind guy know when he's done wiping his hands?
I know. That's a great one. Honestly. And then I messed up. The woman for the Deaf League was not a looker. She looked, as Woody Allen says in Broadway Danny Rose, she looked like something you might find in a live bait shop. And I compounded the problem because we FaceTimed, and I said, you know what, you're deaf, and I wish I was blind.
Oh God!
Oh my God!
I think she's sending someone to punch me in the face. On the set.
You actually got on FaceTime, just the two of you?
Yeah. I butt FaceTime. I butt FaceTime you. She
How
liked
about a little
that.
butt FaceTime?
Yeah, I was working on my butt time jokes. I have one where Kim Kardashian accidentally butt dials everyone she knows. She actually butt times North America. Nothing. Kanye West, how about that? What about that? I predicted that. The guy's a lunatic.
What happened?
He had a breakdown. He wasn't making any sense. Basically, though, he was saying, "Oh, summer rhymes with a button." He started to employ Shore. They put him in the nut house. Yo, Kanye. Yo, I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing with the burger.
What happened? He was ranting, and then he just passed out.
He was on stage being Kanye West. Okay, he's always a fucking annoying prick. I have a theory. A guy goes in that Kardashian house, and they go crazy. A couple of months, they're nuts. Look, Kanye West's in a fucking loony bin. He's screaming on stage. The guy used to be an amazing articulate performer, right? Bruce Jenner's abroad.
Yeah,
and I don't mean he's overseas. And Lamar Odom is just smoking an insane amount of crack, because of those fucking broads. They're nuts. Kris Jenner, look what she did to the Kardashian father. He fucking, I'm getting out of here. That poor guy hid the knife for OJ, and that's what you get. He hides the knife he's probably in hell right now watching Kim get fucked by Ray J on a loop.
Oh, God.
On a loop. Fucking he gets OJ off, she gets Ray J off. Yeah. I want to check the deaf side on that one. How about that one? That shit joke, honey. Sorority girls, that's who hired her. So politically correct. Sorority girls, they were so offended by everything. What are you even hiring comedians for?
I did I did a college show. I didn't know until I got there, but it was an all girls college.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And it was it sounds fun, but it was like a very religious
Yeah, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
That's even worse.
Well, all girls school. I
Oh,
mean, you're
my
a young
God.
man. You're like, this could be good.
Yeah, but then it's religion.
But then it's a religious school, and there's a girl in the crowd in a wheelchair. Extremely.
So it just gets
handicapped.
funnier and funnier.
No, and she's heckling me. And she's being mean.
Oh, man.
And I can't do anything. I just
Really?
suffered through the set because what am I going to do?
You know what you do? You go, hey,
gonna yell
Ironside,
at
hey,
this
Ironside, shut up. You do a reference I don't know. I know that's a tough situation.
Brutal.
Well,
I needed the money. I was like, I could, on my conscience, I think I could attack this girl because she's really fucking me up right now.
Well, you know what? You can.
But I need to get paid for this gig.
You know what's great? You can attack her as brutally as possible. You know for a fact she's not going to walk out.
That would have been a bad show.
That would have been like, whoa, wait, where you go?
Dude, I did a show. He's reminded me of a show in Manchester, England. A comedy store in Manchester.
Right, I know of it, sure.
There's like 8, maybe 6 guys in the show. We're all hanging out backstage.
Yeah.
First guy goes out. Doesn't sound so great. We can't see, but we can hear.
Right.
Something's not right. Something's off.
Right.
And we go out and look, and we see that the entire audience is people with extreme physical handicaps of different types.
Oh, my
The
God.
whole crowd, and they didn't tell us. And I gotta go. No, I'm not going on until the end. Everybody's going out there and not acknowledging it. Everyone's afraid to say anything.
It's tough, yeah.
And so that's basically what I said when I went out. I said, boy, they'd have to have a horrible show for this crowd to get up and walk out on you. And they fucking loved it. They were like,
why
thanks,
not?
somebody
Yeah,
acknowledged
exactly.
it.
You gotta
We're not
do
all
that.
just sitting here pretending that it's not a reality.
Well, actually, the worst thing ever, and I've told the story before, there's a disease called Prader-Willi disease. That these teenage people, you could Google this. Teenage people, they don't have like some sort of gene or chromosome that lets them know they're full when they're eating. So if you leave them to their own devices, they will eat till they explode. They don't stop eating.
Jesus.
And it's an actual disease.
It's like dogs. Dogs have that.
Prader-Willi disease, and the parents are like they're all tired. They hire like people to tackle them from an ice cream truck. Like it's dark, but it's like, you can't help but see the humor. The humor is here. There's one called Madeline. It's the name of the 17-year-old girl. She's 400 pounds. She looks like Dick Buckus, and the parents built a fence around her, which I think Trump should hire these same people for Mexico because it's like she didn't have an ice cream bar. So I'm hired to do stand up there. I don't know why. I got these fat jokes, and I'm like, what am I going to do now? I get up there, and a woman who I didn't know she had an affliction. The end of the story gets that she had a bandana around her head, and I thought she was like a biker or something. I don't know why. And she had a big red bandana around her. And I'm going, what am I going to do? There was a big buffet at the Prader-Willi thing. There was a big, carving station. And I said, maybe I'd make a joke out of that, but I shouldn't make a joke out of that. I had to follow a 10-minute fucking video on Prader-Willi disease.
Oh, Jesus.
So I get up there, everybody's crying, and this woman says 10 minutes because her niece has it. And she's got the red bandana. She leaves, and here's what I say. I don't know the woman has cancer. I thought she was like, I swear to God, because there were like all types there. There were bikers there. I thought she was with the bikers. I said, who is that, Prader-Willi Nelson?
Oh.
Because of the bandana.
Because of the bandana.
I thought it was going to destroy. In my head, I'm thinking this will destroy. There was a silence that could cut. You felt the physical, the silence was picking me up and slamming my nose into its knee.
Air was completely removed from the room.
Prader-Willi Nelson. And to this day, I stand by. I think it's funny, but she has cancer, and she was I bailed. I didn't do the whole set, and I said I can't get paid for this. They were going to pay. I said I'll get my own way home. I'll pick up the hotel. I checked out of the hotel. I don't want people to know where I was. It was the worst experience I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And I've been to Met Red games. I never thought, in other words, you get an instinct in this business. I never had a more wrong instinct of thinking Prader-Willi Nelson would get a laugh.
Wow.
I should not have said Prader-Willi Nelson. I should have assumed she has cancer. I mean, why else? Yeah.
It's never good when someone has or brings up cancer on a show. I was at
Well, the first time I
at a
was
comedy
there,
show.
yeah.
It's like
No, I know.
I was
Well,
at the Stress Factory,
right.
and there's I'm killing. It's going great.
Yeah.
There's a couple just off the stage to the left there.
Right.
You know, the table's right up by the stage,
Right.
and they're just frowning the whole time.
Yeah.
Just frowning. Everybody around them is like dancing and
Right.
high-fiving
Right,
and going
right.
crazy. They're just sitting there frowning at me. So you know how we are. You notice the one. Everyone could be laughing. You notice the one guy who's not.
All right.
So finally, I'm like, I go, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing. They're having a great time. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? And the guy goes, I have cancer. And I go, I had no idea what to do. I said, thanks. Now we all do. And he laughed, and he fucking laughed.
Yeah.
And then it was okay. Like
That'd be
somehow
great,
we
yeah.
got past it.
No,
But it was like a bomb. It's just like,
no, well, listen.
don't say that, even
should've
if it's the
done-
truth.
You should have done Pauly Shore. You should have been, yo, Robert Frowning Jr. The Frowning Pool. What's going on?
Robert Frowning Jr.
Yo,
That's pretty fucking funny.
turn
right?
that frowning upside down. What are you doing? We have cancer. Wait, is that Pauly Shore? He's our favorite.
What's
Can
the
you
matter?
can
I
you do
have
the old song?
cancer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have cancer. Oh, thank you.
You could you have picked a worse time to
That's
let me
like
know?
That's like my favorite Baywatch episode ever is David Hasselhoff falls in love with this Australian chick who's he's gonna marry. He's finally gonna settle down, and when he asks her, she looks at him real dramatic and goes, "I have consummate." In that Australian accent, like it's the worst acting ever. I have consummate. And then it's like, and then Pauly Shore comes in and goes, "Yo, throw another cancer on the Bobby. Throw another
She tells
chemo."
him. I didn't understand what you were saying.
She
said,
has
I have-
cancer. She goes, "I have consummate,"
Oh, cancer, Mitch.
and he's Mitch.
He's Mitch. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Mitch
yeah.
Baywatch, right?
Right,
Is
Mitch
that
on Baywatch. Yeah. And
Oh, that's not his name. I thought his name was Mitch Baywatch.
yeah, no, you're thinking of Heart to Heart. That's her name.
Heart to Heart.
Yeah, Mitch Baywatch. Pauly Shore just jumps in every scene that's not working.
It is. It's funny. It's still funny.
You hire him. Yeah. What's not working here? I'll make it work. Asshole. I have every Pauly. Remember the Pauly sitcom? I have every one on tape.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's one of them. It's one.
Hey, let's not watch those.
It's actually just one episode.
I have the whole run.
Yeah, I said.
One.
I said.
I forgot he had a show.
Yeah, everyone did. I said to him, Paul, that must have been frustrating. You were just 102 episodes away from syndication. Yo, you're not ready for the store. You're ready for the store. Go pick me up some cigarettes, some cantaloupe juice. Well, listen. So you're at the cellar all the time. How often are you on the road?
I go out like twice a month.
Yeah. Well, again, you got a chance to see Ben. Check it out. He's as good as a comic gets. And this new project thing, I love. I want to see your special. I'm going to check it out as soon as I can. because
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's called Live and Uncensored.
Live and Uncensored, and the name of the project, the whole the website thing, and
TheRealBenBailey.com.
go to therealbenbailey.com.
There's 2 short films on there that I made. One's a new character that I came up with. His name is Blam, which stands for badly written action man. So I'm like an action hero guy whose lines are terribly written. And then there's another short film that Judah Friedlander.
Yeah, sure.
Judah and I made a movie like 12 years ago about 2 idiots trying to meet up for pizza in New York, but they're meeting at Ray's, and there's like 70 different Ray's pizzas. So that's called Meet Me at Ray's. That's up there. The special. There's a podcast which I'd love to have you on when you tell a story.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
I'll let you know. We'll exchange info.
Yeah.
About that before I go, but yeah, that'd be great, man. You have so many awesome stories. It's crazy.
I got some stories. Yeah, check it out. Sven. Ben rhymes with Sven.
Oh, some.
That was his closer.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yo, anybody ever notice that? A summer rhyme with the What's that about? We should look into that, Mr. FBI, man. He just fucks 46. The most frustrating thing, here's the answer. If you dislike somebody, here's the worst answer they could give to this question. I said to him on Stern, hey, Paulie, how many playmates have you fucked? And he went, I don't know. I wanted to strangle him.
He wasn't sure.
I don't
He
know.
couldn't remember how many.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If you say to me, Art, how many times have you mistaken stretch marks for like a rash? I don't know.
I don't know.
How many times did you fail math? I don't know.
Every time.
Yeah, exactly. Every time. I don't know how many times.
All the times.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it. How many times did you wake up with a White Castle 50-pack on your chest? I don't know. I don't know. So I'm right up there with your Playmate fucking stories.
Can you buy a 50-pack at White Castle?
They have them, yeah.
Wow.
They're the worst.
You know, there was like a national thing done where they investigate all the fast food restaurants to see which ones were the cleanest.
Were they the cleanest, I hope?
White Castle was the
No kidding.
the cleanest one.
That's amazing. See, think about that.
It's rated #1 as the
Rat burger.
Yeah.
You know why? But it's White Castle. Think about it.
I should have known.
Yeah. Let's just put a joke on a joke.
Red. I'm trying to think of a color that wouldn't offend someone.
Every color offensive. Right, red offensive.
Green.
Yellow, green is Irish. Right?
Yeah, but
You know
they
what?
won't mind. They'll be
here's
like,
what-
you're right, we're fucking dirty.
Here's how much of an Italian asshole I was. See if you're offended by this. I was not. I was afraid to totally commit to St. Patrick's Day. So as a kid and as a teenager, I would on St. Patrick's Day I would wear a shirt with a picture of Lord Green on it.
A Bonanza shirt.
Yeah, I do it. I find that young kids don't laugh at that, so I changed it to CeeLo Green. I use it. It's not
Oh, that's a good adjustment.
not as funny. Yo,
Still pretty
CeeLo.
funny. It's still good.
CeeLo and Lorne, are they related? I don't think so.
Lauren Green.
Lord Green. And I would say,
About the youngest people who would get a Lauren Green reference.
oh, the old St. Patrick's Day in New York City, man. I used to go sometime. I miss those days, those politically incorrect days of like, you could just turn over anything like a Fiat, a car. You turn it over. Families could be in it. How about Giuliani, how honest he was with the Puerto Rican Day Parade? He would just go, listen, batten up the hatches. Do you have plywood? Just put it over your windows and get the hell out of town. That's what he said every year before the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Rudy.
And the concept of parades, first of all. People are dying in ambulances because the fucking Ukrainians have to march. Give me a break. Let's just cut out the parades. I'm a high tie. You can take the Columbus Day Parade, shove it up your ass. I don't need it. It's not that anymore anyway. People are changing that now too. Nothing's the same name anymore. When I was a kid, I used to go buy fireworks at. You ever buy fireworks on Canal Street there?
Yup.
Yeah. You know how embarrassing it is, how awkward it is. Nowadays you have to buy African American chasers.
Oh, God.
Cut the bed laughing at that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite joke you've done. Well, listen, man. This is just you're nearby, right? Where do you live?
I live out in Jersey, just a little bit out. Morristown.
Come by anytime you want. I'd love to do your podcast.
Yeah, come tell a story, man. I'd love to have you on.
Yeah, I definitely, without question. Just let me know. I'm around. So
I know you have great stories. Like,
Yeah.
if you have a favorite story to tell, that would be great.
I got a lot of them actually.
And then we'll just go. We'll do our topic around that.
Okay.
You know DC Benny?
Yes, absolutely.
We used to do a show called Urban Myth.
Right.
It was every Tuesday at a place called Zinc Bar.
I know what that is.
That's where the old Bag It In used to be, downstairs from the Boston Comedy Club.
That's right. Zinc Bar. I just did a set there.
But it used to be on Houston,
right.
Zinc Bar.
Well, I just did a set at what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's at the Zinc Bar?
There's wait a minute. No, okay. No, there's another one on West 3rd Street next to where the Boston Comedy Club used to be that I did a set at. It's not
Yeah. Well, that's where Zinc Bar is
Right,
now.
yeah,
But
okay.
back in the day, it was on Houston.
Right.
And we would do, it was called Urban Myth. It was a storytelling show. and we basically decided that we're going to do a podcast version of that show.
Okay.
So it's just stories. That's it, man. We pick a topic. We each tell a story about that topic.
Okay.
You know?
I have a story on every topic except rollerblading.
I'm going to invite you in for rollerblading story night.
Can I check?
bet you could come out with one.
Right? Can we substitute for rollerblading? Can we substitute running guns to Cuba?
Absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely.
So listen, anything you have a chance to. And does the old Cash Cab still air once in a while? They put
It's
on
still
I say, yeah.
reruns are still on.
The
Yeah.
honeymooners of game shows.
I have the cab at my house. I'll show
So
it.
that's great.
I'll show it to you if you
That's
want.
awesome.
We'll go sit in it.
And in a way, and I remember the 2200 I did get because I gave it to my fucking.
Put you right back in that seat.
Yeah.
And we'll call Quinn.
You know, one of the final questions was, again, you don't realize how, like, I'm a loser, so I know stuff like this. Who's the band known as the Thunder Down Under? AC/DC? I think that nailed it.
That's right. You had that
was that question.
The AC/DC question.
Yeah, and first of all, 2200, if Colin had gotten that a little fucking quicker, by the way, Mr. Is This On, showing me up in the deaf thing,
you guys
we
would've
would have
left with-
$5,000.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah, we were like something like that. Yeah, it was a lot of
Well,
money.
you would have gotten another $200, I think.
You know what?
It wasn't the double or nothing because if
Right,
you lost
right,
that,
exactly.
you would have left with nothing.
You know what, then, Colin, I apologize.
$200, Quinn, you son of a bitch.
You son of a fuck you, Artie. Yeah, fuck you, Artie. Folks.
I stuck my head into the lounge, like I guess a month ago. Colin was in there. I don't know what he was talking about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because they do stand up in there, don't you?
I don't know the context at all, but I just overheard like a random little bit, and he was like, he goes, what did he say? He goes, so I see this guy, and I don't know if he's fighting with this flamingo or just trying to wrestle it into a truck.
You know what? That's a good point. I love it.
Like, what was he talking
If a
about?
real good comic, that's a great idea too. A real good comic is doing a set. You just put your head and say, "What is he saying right now?" That's funny. Like
You just take a random
Yeah.
tidbit.
Because one time I do that with Dave Attell sometimes, and there was a midget in the front row. And he was in the midget's face, and this is all I heard. What can't you reach today? Oh, we have a little person here. He put him on the piano.
You used to have a whole midget chunk of tell, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I do a midget thing because well, yeah, this is a true story. I saw a little person. I saw a midget complaining about this on TV. He said calling a little person a midget is the same thing as calling a black man the N-word. So I went out one day and I tried both things.
No.
And I got to tell you, let me save you some time. There's a huge difference. One will get you smacked in the shin, and the other one will get you locked in the trunk of an Impala. That was my best joke for a while. Of those jokes.
That's a funny joke.
Yeah,
is that true? Midget? Midget is not.
They don't like that. They like to be called. Actually, Tell does have a good joke.
apologize.
What do you call midget?
Apologize,
Do they want to
little
be
people.
called little people? You know what they want to be called? People.
He's right about that.
I'll give you
He used to have a bit about a little person who was late for work. He'd show up late for work, and he'd be like, "You're late," and he'd go, "Look at these little legs. You're lucky I made it at all."
I think you know what? Okay, I do a movie with Norm Macdonald. I do this storytelling you talk about, and so there's a midget in one of the scenes, and it was a midget there's one midget in Toronto. He was in every movie, and his name was Paul Herrera or something. So the call sheet comes out. And it says Norm Macdonald 8 a.m., Artie Lang 8 a.m. It says midget 8 a.m. So it's midget. Didn't have the guy's name. The midget's agent goes nuts. He starts screaming. He goes, "We're not coming in today. That's the most offensive thing. You got to change. That's ridiculous. He's got a name like Artie and Norm. He's not if it said Artie, like it just said Italian fat guy, And it's true. It's midget. Not midget. He's a guy. His name's Paul. Paul Herrera is his name. And everybody was very, political correctness was just coming in. They were very unpincered. So, okay, some kid in the office typed up the next schedule. We'll call that kid the funniest person ever. Because I wake up the next day, it says Norm 8 a.m. morning, and it says Paul the Midget 8 a.m. It was I was almost late because I was laughing. The agent now goes ballistic to put the fucking producer. Who the fuck did that? Or whatever, And meanwhile, Norm's like, don't fire that guy. Let him rewrite the movie.
That reminds me of like the classic British story, comedy club story.
What?
There's a guy. They have all these great stories about
Right.
classic heckles and stuff.
Sure.
But one of them, a guy comes out and does. I can't remember the comic's name. Comes out and does a bit about midgets or
Right.
dwarfs. He's calling them dwarfs.
Yeah. Same shit.
And there's a little person in the crowd.
Right.
Who comes walking out. He's just finished this big whole long chunk about midgets or dwarfs, and a dwarf, a little person, comes walking up down the aisle and just stands in the aisle staring at him. So he looks and he says, I'm sorry, have I offended you? And the guy goes, you have offended me. I'm really upset, and it's my birthday. And the comic goes, he goes, oh, I'm terribly sorry. Let me make it up to you. He just starts singing, happy birthday to you. And the whole crowd starts singing, happy birthday, and they don't realize that they don't know the guy's fucking name. It comes around to that part, and the whole place goes, happy birthday, dear dwarf. The guy he's just furious and storms out.
The kicker is, I almost got us in big trouble because he finally made up with the guy because the midget claimed to like get other midgets and protest like the movie, like with signs and walk around like a real like live like what they used to do with strikes. And the next day, people were joking around in front of the agent, and I didn't realize who the agent was because I never met the guy. And people said, "Well, at least they didn't." Protest with signs, and I said they did. You just couldn't see the signs. And he said, "Can we have? Can any more shitty short jokes you want to do before I sue the fuck out of you guys?"
That's what the agent said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, I said, "Oh, I don't know." Well, tell your client from now on when it starts to rain, I'm not going to tell him.
No.
In his driver license picture, you can see his feet. We could go on forever.
It is actually offensive. They don't like to be called agents.
Midget agent. Oh, you know what? Actually, one of you remember the basketball player Anthony Hardaway? Mm-hmm. Anthony.
Yep.
This is true. His mother thought that was how you spelled Anthony. That's why his name's Anthony.
That's absolutely true?
Yes, that's a true story.
I did not know that.
Confirmed by Anthony Hardaway.
But I have to admit that I always wondered.
Well, yeah. Confirmed by
Anthony
him.
is an interesting name. It's not one you've heard before.
Much like the Nazi thing, here's the joke I get in trouble with at the end of a Conan thing. I said, well, cut this out because this got booed too. I tell that, which is true. And then I said, Patrick Ewing has a similar story. And he goes, Conan says, really? He goes, yeah, that's how his mother thought you spelled Anthony. Anyway. The joke, of course, is Patrick's nowhere near. Okay.
Have you got in trouble for that?
Yeah. Well, Conan left it in. I said, throw me a fucking line here. Louis drunk, and he's leaving in the Nazi shit. Before you know it, I'll be out of it. I'll be working construction on Friday. This fucking politically correct bullshit. That's why I'm podcasting. I don't care. It's just me and Dan. All I can offend is Dan. And that hasn't happened yet. At least
he seems unoffendable over there.
I am.
He smiles and laughs no matter what.
When he doesn't laugh, he's offended. That's his
quiet.
That's his protest against me.
No.
Yeah, he's very liberal.
No.
Oh, the most left-wing fucking commie.
You remember when Joy Behar had a show, a talk show?
Yeah. We call that in my family. We call that the dark years. You know
but
what
she had this guy as a producer who would always laugh.
Right.
You could hear him on the show laughing.
Oh yeah.
Not that I watched it much, but I was a guest on it once.
Right. Yeah, I was too. Yeah.
There's a couple of comics on there, and it was almost like a panel, like a multi-person panel. Everybody'd like chime in about whatever topic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the other comics, we kind of got in a battle. It was like everybody's trying to get the attention and get the laughs.
Like a hip-hop battle?
And they kept stepping on each other.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah.
And it didn't flow like it was supposed to. And the producer guy didn't make a sound the whole time. And then when we were leaving, I said, I go, boy, did you guys fuck that up? And you hear the producer from way back behind us. You're like,
That's when you need a guy like that.
yeah, it's like the first time we heard the guy laugh.
Joy Behar, you know what? Like ironic nicknames when you go the fat guy Tiny. That's why she's Joy. We do a cheap version of the View. This is the obstructed view.
I don't really know her. I got invited on there.
You can't ever you never get to know a genius like Joy.
She had Tony Danza on there as a guest too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he called in. He was like, "Hey, Joy, how you doing?" And he goes, "Who's the guy? Who's the guy with the voice?"
Is that what he said?
That's what he said about me. Who's the guy? Yeah, he's talking about her.
Who's the guy with the voice? And you should have said, "Hey, Tony, who's the boss?"
Samantha.
It's me.
Angela.
Tony he's named after the one award he wants to win for Iceman Cometh. 5-hour play. That was the best. He was an Iceman Cometh. And every day in the Daily News there was an article about how he yelled at somebody in the front row. After 5 hours, he's doing like this, like an Ibsen, like Iceman guy. They go, "Hey, what's your put the cigarette out? What are you at the office? Put the BlackBerry away." And they tap danced and kicked his ass. Listen, Ben, this was a joy. Come back anytime, man.
Thanks, man.
This was a
great,
Joy Behar.
This was a pure Joy Behar.
You, I'm gonna come and do your show, and I thank you for coming, man, and thank you for being so nice to me and my uncle and cousin.
Oh,
they
absolutely,
still
dude.
get
You
a
guys
kick
were great.
out of that, and you were great on that show, and much more to come, man.
Thanks, bro.
And I'll see you soon. The great Ben Bailey, Ben. That's Dan over there.
Thank you.